Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am doing my February plan with me, which we are already in month 2 of 2020, and I think I am recording this on the lunar year, so happy lunar year. And I'm so excited to actually be showing this month. I was more than a little frustrated with my January plan with me. I didn't really captivate what I wanted in it, and with this month I think I overcompensated because I was so into it. But anyways, my theme for this month is baby's breath, including letters and words, poetry, just very romantic things, which I'm not very romantic as it is, but I do enjoy having a very romantic February bullet journal theme, so I decided to go with that. But I started off with putting a little saying goodbye to January, just because January was somewhat of a finishing month for me. I had a lot of things that came to a close during this month, and I wanted to say goodbye to it. I think it's one of those good things, and I decided to move my title page to the right once more because I tried it with the left last month and it did not work out. I did not like it at all. So I'm moving back to the right. So I thought it would make a good space to just say goodbye to January, but also include the theme of February. And I went ahead and I did all my baby's breath. I really did love baby's breath when I was younger. I don't know why. When I was younger, I would grab it and just put it in random spots somewhere. And I think I say younger, but I think I started that when I was 19. And it's just such a cute little filler flower that I thought, why not give it its own bullet journal spread this month. Plus they're very easy to draw, and I didn't want my bullet journal to be so overwhelming. So anyways, I did include this little letter, which I did off screen. When I was doing the wax, I got this fun little wax kit from, I think it was Walmart, and you can buy them at Michael's or any craft store really, and you can choose the color. But this one came in a set of 3, and it came with 2 types of stamps, and one of them was a little rose, so I thought it was very cute, and I included it in here. The paper behind the envelope is actually from Michael's, but it has been in my drawers or somewhere hidden away for so long that I don't know if they actually make it anymore. And it comes in gold, but I actually flipped it over. I actually pasted it on here and then I switched it later because I didn't like that I was going to do gold again. I did some of the gold washi tape in last month and I was like, I don't really want to do gold once more. So I switched it to rose gold and I went ahead and flipped that. And then I decided to outline my envelope a little with some washi tape, but I won't do that until the very end, but I do want you guys to know that I did do that. Moving on to my monthly spread, this one I wanted to use my washi tape. I wanted the rose gold to kind of stand out and be the color that I was going to use, and I did use a Crayola super tip marker just because I wanted to match the color as best as I could, and I used more of a light peach than I did a pink. I did include a little bit of the pink at the very beginning of the first week that I included in this bullet journal spread, but I didn't think it matched as well as I thought it did. So it's okay. You live and you learn. But with this, I just went ahead and cut a little bit of my washi tape in half just so that I could not have such a overwhelming border, and I did it through both spreads, as in left and right, so that there was a big chunk of space within the actual month. So when I did last month, I actually did enjoy it, but I wanted to come back to this one just because I have been wanting to have the actual month in this format. So, you know, I'm going to be jumping back and forth. I wanted to try new things, and I did for January, and I might return to it in March, but I don't know yet. So I went ahead and I filled up everything, which this month is particular because we have the first on the Sunday, or Saturday, excuse me, and then the third lands on the Monday. So for my weekly spreads, I actually ended up starting with the third since I had already included the first and the second in my January bullet journal in the last week, just because it was the end of the month and it ended up using Friday as well, and I did not want to start my week on a Saturday, so I ended up starting on the 3rd. But anyways, that was my month at a glance, and now moving on to my trackers. Last month I ended up doing 6 different trackers, and I did mention that I wasn't really into it this month, or that I was going to change it up this month. So I decided to do only 4 trackers, and then my mood and my sleep tracker. I think my mood does have a great significance. When I don't sleep a lot, my mood plummets, and then when I do sleep a lot, I have a much happier attitude. So I want to be sure to be conscious of that this month a lot more than I have been. I want to really pay attention to just my attitude and how I can help it by taking care of things that, I can take care of, like sleeping. So it's just one of those things that I wanted to do. For my trackers, I ended up doing 4, which I did not put exactly which ones they are because I think those are just personal to me. I think everybody can use them, but I did center them right in the middle, in this right hand side. On the left hand side, I did put my sleep and mood tracker, and I actually did them horizontally, so you're looking at it vertically. I would have to turn my bullet journal in order for me to fill it out, but I did want to do more of a graph thing. Next, I did a little stamp with February, and then I stamped in all of my trackers. I love these stamps. Fun little fact about these stamps is that if you use a Faber-Castell B pen, then you are more likely to be able to cover it with a uni ball. So I have learned my lesson, and I will no longer be using my Tombow pen, but I'll be using a Faber-Castell pen. So I'm moving on to my brain dump page. I actually did 2 of these, but I did not include one of them just because one of them I'm using it more as a thoughts and poetry or anything that kind of just gets me inspired within the month. And the second one I'm using more for a brain dump and notes. So I didn't actually put a title on it. I know what it's for my poetry and my thoughts I actually did. So with this one, I kind of wanted to just use the line of rose gold and then put all the baby's breath around it. And I like the corners more for baby's breath. I was going to go kind of crazy and do one full page with full of them, but I thought that was a little excessive. So I don't know, maybe I'll do it for a weekly spread, but for now I like that these are so simple and that they're giving me a lot more space. And remember that your bullet journal should give you enough space so that you can branch out some more. So don't be afraid to keep using other pages if you mess up or if you want to just venture out. But anyways, next is my week 1, which is February 3rd all the way to the 9th. And I ended up doing something that I've always wanted to do. I love how if you cut something out, you will probably have this ragged edge, and I love that. So I decided to do it. If you write a note, sometimes you can just do it on a normal piece of little paper. So I decided to use this cardboard looking paper and just kind of rip it. So I put it in and made it look like you just ripped a page out of something. So I really love this idea. I've seen so many people do it, and I've always wanted to try it myself. So I decided to use it for this weekly spread. And then I went ahead and I had some stamps that I had never used, so I decided to use them. I wrote out February, which I did have that little stamp. It came into a set, and then it included a bunch of numbers, so I decided to use them because I still have not gotten my stamps, which are my letter stamps, but I think they're a little bit smaller, so it's a good thing that I actually ended up using these numbers and these letters, or the name, excuse me. So yeah, I went ahead and I did this. Just a very simple spread. I didn't want to do anything hectic, but I did include my rolling tasks. I have been using them very much, so I have been enjoying them, so I decided to actually include them in here. But I did think that I moved them too far to the left, so I might go back in and kind of change just how I laid it out, just so I can give myself a little bit more room for Thursday, or actually Friday. So yeah, I went ahead and I did more of my baby's breath, and then I moved on to my first page again, which I added a little bit of washi tape just because I felt like it needed some, and I went ahead and I turned over the gold words so that they were backwards, and they have that rose gold effect. So yeah, I did make sure to remove this, by the way, and play around with it a little bit more, but I enjoyed this spread so much. I can't wait for the next week's. If you would like to use this theme and tag me so that I can see it, then I will leave my Instagram handle at the end of this video so that you guys can do that. I'm so excited for February. I can't wait for it to start. But until then, we'll finish off January and everything will be as it should be. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and I hope that this inspired you a little bit to do your own bullet journal or to play around with some ideas. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and remember, I post Saturdays, so I will see you guys next week. Bye everyone.